walk with me.
Not unto us, O I am, not unto us, but unto thy name give glory, for thy mercy and for thy truth's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is now their God? But our God is in the heavens. He hath done whatsoever he pleased. Their idols are silver and gold, the work of men's hands. They have mouths, but they speak not. They have eyes, but they see not. They have ears, but they hear not. Noses have they, but they smell not. They have hands, but they handle not. Feet have they, but they walk not. Neither speak they through their throats. They that make them are like unto them. So is everyone that trusteth in them. O Israel, trust thou in the I am. He is their help and their shield. He that feareth the I am, trust in the I am. He is their help and their shield. The I am hath been mindful of us. He will bless us. He will bless the house of Aaron. He will bless them that fear Sanini Nanini, both small and great. The I am shall increase you more and more, you and your children. You are blessed of the I am, which made heaven and earth. The heaven, even the heavens, are the I ams, but the earth he hath given to the children of men. The dead praise not the I am, neither any that goeth down into silence. But we will bless the I am from this time forth and forevermore. Praise the I am. Oh yes, that's Psalms chapter 115, the complete chapter. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Those of you on this platform and those shared platforms, you're walking with Mr. Clay, and I'm Mr. Clay. Yes, 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 yes. And we give God the glory and the praise for you. And also with a hand clap of praise, we thank God for those of you that have been patient and have been with us since the beginning, and those of you that have just subscribed, or those that have been thereafter and here and there's about, or just subscribe. Yes, or follow. We thank God for you. We give God the glory for you. We ask you to go into the archive, study, whatever. I mean, compare, comment, whatever, negative or positive, it's all good. We thank God for you. And those of you that are about to subscribe or follow, we thank God for you, and we call those things that are not as though they are. Yes, we're going to call the book of Oshea, aka Joshua. Yes. In the book of Numbers, it talks about his name was Oshea. Oshea. See, this is where the English and the original language divide. His name never was Joshua. Or if anything, if there was no J, how would you pronounce it? It would still be Oshua or Oshea. So they say, we call him Joshua. Give him a name to show ownership. So they call their children Josh and all this other stuff. You know, after some fictitious name they made up, called it transliteration. Why are you going to transliterate names that you're going to give your children, but yet the other names you leave intact? Doesn't make any sense. We're in Joshua, the book of Joshua. See, we're going through the Old Testament now. We'll be going through Joshua and on down through the Kings, those boring books. But if you pay attention, they would not be so boring. It depends on how your mindset and how you're looking at them. They will not be boring at all. You will be able to discern a lot of things. Yes, and from what, if you've stuck with me since the beginning, you're going to be able to discern even more, because your mind is going to go back. You might not have the correct. It doesn't matter whether that you know the truth and where to find it. I mean, if you got the verse and chapter, good. I mean, that's outstanding. But if you say, well, I know it's in this book or somewhere around this chapter, I'm going to look. You're doing just as good. Yes, you are. Me, myself, I know my memory is not really all that good. And I've been in this thing since I was 19. And I was still, I can recall some things, but I can recall the book it's from, and I can recall a lot. Some things I can't recall. And then I was in Christianity then, so I do understand a good portion of the Faith Testament. So that is another thing. Verse 1. Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the I Am, it came to pass that the I Am spake unto Oshea, son of Nun, a.k.a. Joshua, Moses, minister, saying, Moses, my servant, or Moshe, my servant, is dead. Now therefore rise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give them, even to the children of Israel. Now, as we read before, through all the books of Enoch, Jubilees and Jasher, we find that the land was given to Shem. According to the book of the early part of Jubilees and Jasher, it talks about from the Euphrates to the brook of Egypt, which is the Nile, yes. Now, the Euphrates ends at what I think it's, to put it correctly, it's not Iran. Well, we'll get to that when it comes to my mind. Oh, wow. It's not Djibouti. I mean, you can go, part of it can go down to Djibouti. Now, in my estimation, from what I read, according to the narrative, it says that Japheth was given the cold places. I mean, the north. Now, this is doing what they call Pangea. You have to really realize Pangea was real. The earth was one at one time. The people were one at one time. See, this is all adds to your confusion. Now, it had to be after the children of Israel occupied the land that this splitting of the land occurred, because we also see a splitting of the land occurring in Africa even now, today. Those of you that keep up with current events, they're not talking about it now, but you have colonizers over there watching it and everything as though they own the land. It's not your land. You be humble before the people of that land. It's not your land. They allow you in it. They allow you in it. If they want you out, they want you out. Whether it's with compensation or without. It's not your land. They honor their laws and you purchase some land, then they will give it to you. But if your colonizer people took the land and stole it, why should they pay you anything when you got it for free? You stole it with blood. Same thing with the United States. You stole it with blood. And now you put these old laws down here to go with the people, and now the people howl because of your enforcers that subdue them and treat them less than dogs. Oh, you got something coming. You got something coming. But nevertheless, I digress. And now, he says now to Oshea, the son of Nun, Moses' minister or servant, whichever you want to put it, minister, servant, whatever, it's English, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise and go over this Jordan. Now, was just the Jordan the land of Israel? No. See, you had Shem in that area. Also, you had Esau in that area also. Esau took the mountains from the other people. Or should I say, it was the Midianites. We have to go back to that. I go into so much, sometimes I know where it's at and I can find it. But memory-wise, no. This is where some people, they exalt themselves against you because your memory doesn't serve you good, and that you can come up with verse and chapter, or chapter and verse. And they will exalt themselves against you. And you don't know. You need to go back and read this. And they don't even know who you are. So you have to excuse those people and say, okay, whatever you say, you're big, I'm small. keep it moving. Because they're not going to relent. Many are trying to get a religious, should I say, some type of religious reputation. Especially on social media to get likes and views. Me, myself, been doing this I'll be going 2 years. Not too far from it. But the fact is that I don't do it if I did it for likes and views, I would be scurrying. But I don't do it for likes and views. I do it because it's in me to do. From the Most High, and that's it. My servant, Moses, my servant, is dead. He just put it right, dead. He's separated from his body. Demised, deceased, deleted, whatever you want to call it. Therefore arise and go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give them, even to the children of Jacob, or as some of you call Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you. Even as you go over the Jordan, okay. As I said unto Moses, no Moshe. From the wilderness of this Lebanon, think about it, which they call Palestine now, unto the great river Euphrates. Now, the Euphrates runs all the way down, I don't know if it's Dubai. I'm trying to figure it out. I have to really think about this map. Let me get this right, because a lot of times I have maps right here. I can just look at it if I want to. I wish I could share it. I don't know how to share these maps with you. I will eventually, as I study how to do it. It's just something that I've not been. Kuwait. Euphrates run all the way from Turkey to Kuwait. Now, you have to realize, all that land, but yet they only occupy, these imposters occupy only a small portion. Now, let's keep going. I'm going to show you something that you should ponder on. I'm not saying it's true, but we should ponder on it. Okay? And also, we're going to bring up that map of Pangea eventually, as it's going to be in the background. But either way, it says, now, as I was with Moses, he said, he said, now to the Euphrates, to the land of the Hittites. The Hittites were a part of Canaan. A great sea, unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun shall be your coast. Now what he's saying, the great sea, is really the Persian Gulf, is what he's talking about. So it's coming from down that part to Kuwait, to the Persian Gulf. Then he says toward the east, the going down of the sun is west. So east of where Moses is the Euphrates. Now if we go from the Euphrates and we go west, we're going back toward Egypt. Now even in the book of Jasher, it says, or Jubilees, it says that from the river Euphrates to the brook of Egypt is your land. Keep that in mind. Let's keep going. And be strong. He says, now there shall not a man be able to stand before you all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Now, there were stipulations with that. As long as you do what I tell you to do. See, love, your Greek definition of love is so ambiguous and so strolled out amongst the world. Nobody knows what love is. But I do. The measure of that love would be the law. Fairness. The law describes fairness. Whether it's in its hideousness to you. In other words, a murderer should be murdered right then and there upon the laying of hands of two witnesses. And if those witnesses lie, then they shall suffer the same thing as the one that was demised because of their lie. God, it's straight point blank. It doesn't take much to delete a murderer. You talk about lethal injections and all this other stuff. That's a bunch of crock. To delete a murderer, you just murder him like he murdered. Period. Whether you use projectile instruments or whatever you use. Don't even waste that. Just poke them through. Because they treated the person that they murdered as a dog. Therefore, I don't care whether it's an enforcer or a guard or whoever. If you are wrong and you murdered a person, you should be deleted. Period. And it should be timely. Not upon, it should be investigated, yes. But if there's a crowd of people that said this man has done it and you find out that he didn't do it, that crowd of people should be deleted. Period. If they're going to sit up there and open their mouth and all, God is going to do this thing. He's already done it to those who have died. They have died, and God is going to do it again and again and again. It will not go well with you, murderer. No, it will not. You might live, but then you're going to see the horribleness of what God has you. And didn't you laugh at that too? Okay, be mindful. Now there shall not a man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage. In other words, he's saying, don't look to the left or the right, nor the size of the people or the greatness of their armaments. Don't look to their nuclear missiles and all these things. God will give you what you need. And if that's not enough, he will take care of himself. Yes, he will. You don't have to worry about that. See, many of us, we don't believe God. And I know sometimes, even myself, I cannot just point the finger at you and not look at me. There are times where I stand in doubt. There are times God sent me out on the street and I stood in doubt. One time, 3 o'clock in the morning. But he delivered. Souls were converted. Even those that have weapons were asking about the Most High. See, when the Spirit of the Most High is there, I'm not talking about no Holy Ghost. I'm talking about the Spirit of the Most High, which is holy. There ain't no such thing as no Holy Ghost or no holy this. God doesn't lay with a woman, his own creation. He would not send an angel to lay with his own creation either, and then commit adultery against his own law. If you look at this thing soberly, we wasn't sober when we turned Christians and saw this thing. That's hideous. That's nasty. That's just like a father laying with his own daughter. Or a brother laying with his brother's wife. Well, it would be more in the thing of the father. He wouldn't even allow Pharaoh or neither the king of Sodom or the Shechem to lay with the wife of Abraham. So why would he allow a spirit to overshadow a virgin that is espoused to a man and then talk to both of them and tell them that, hey, we put a baby in her? That's against your own laws. God will not do that. It's a lie. Now, so the child, if there was a child there and whatever his name is, there's so many names given and lies told to confuse you. This is true. And what he did was really nothing. He did nothing. No more than what a prophet of old have done, or even during the time of that the Christians call silence. Nothing. But there have been many deliverers before him and deliverers after him. So who is it? Who was it? Who can it be? Now, be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide an inheritance of the land, which I swear unto their fathers. Did that give any other people a license to go colonize any other land as Israel did this land? Some of them think it is. Some of them think Ham. They think the black nations which they have pushed into the continent of Africa and amongst all the dark races and all these things. Yes, the dark races were that of Noah. They come from Noah. Noah is described as an albino, but his children came out black. He was a sign given unto his father Laban. I think it was Laban, yes. Or I might be wrong on that one. But either way, it was a sign given, as was told by Methuselah. Methuselah told him, this is a sign in the book of Enoch. This is a sign. And what that sign was, I think we see it today in the form of those of you who took you on slave ships, those who took you and ravished your women and the land. For thousands of years they have tried to infiltrate Africa, and to the last few centuries they were successful. But now God giving that land back. Remember, below the Sahel, I see it as the land of Shem, not the land of Israel. From Egypt, Misraim, onto all the way to California, I see it according to the narrative of the book of Jubilees and the book of Jasher as the lot given to Ham. See, because you can know, a lot of the Indians that we see, they were black, yes, they were black, but they were Hamites. They were Hamites. And down South America and down southern, all the way to South Africa, the land of Shem. No, you're not Israel. Israel was given a certain portion. It was given to Shem because Esau dwelled there too, because he was Shem. He took the mountains back. God gave him those mountains according to the book of Jasher. Edom. And all that land was Shem. But for some reason, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, those lands were taken. Not only just for Israel, but for all of Noah's children. It was all taken and subdued. Now, Japheth was given the north part. Some people say, well, black people can't live up north. That's a lie. Black people can't stand cold. Black people stand more cold than anybody else on the face of the earth. Not only the cold, the heat, black people can withstand it all. This is given to the black man, period. As long as he's wearing the proper clothing. I mean, you stand outside too long, you're going to be a popsicle. Now, he says, only be thou strong and very courageous, verse 7. Excuse me. That thou may observe to do according to all the law. Now, he's saying, now, I'm going to give you all this, but as you go, do the law. This land was given to Shem. Part of Shem lives here and all the way down toward, as far as I understand. I'm not saying it's true, but this is what I understand. It says all the way down to South Africa. Even to the part of South America was given to Shem. Period. And now, he says, now, be strong, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law. Now, to delete a person in the name of the Most High as directed, is it unlawful? No, it's not. Because God is giving you back. He's saying, take back the land. This is the theme of the whole thing of Joshua, taking back the land. The land wasn't theirs from the get-go. The same thing here. You got the colonizers and all those people. They wasn't here. This is not their land. God is going to take back this land. I'm not saying personally, but somewhere, somehow, he's going to orchestrate it where the land is given back to its original aboriginals. The same thing with South America. The same thing with Australia. He's going to give it back. He's going to give it back. Now, he says, only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left. Remember I said God God walks before you. God don't walk behind you. Whatever God leaves behind, he have either decimated or caused it to be destroyed. Or either, if he tells you to remember, is to remember how he has delivered you. If you're going to look back. Or to the left, that thou mayest prosper. In other words, the law calls you to prosper. Even according to the book of Psalms, it tells you. It's more to be desired than gold, yea, than much fine gold. Sweeter than the honey and the honeycomb. He says that thou mightest prosper wheresoever I go. Now, you got Christians add this stuff to that. No. That ain't got, it's about the law. It was all about the law. And this is the whole pinnacle of the whole book, the whole chapter. And this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. In other words, speak that which is sound doctrine. What? According to the New Testament, is that what you say? Sound doctrine is the law. Thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. All! For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Is what God says. You won't have nobody slapping you all over the world. You wouldn't have nobody. You wouldn't have been in chains. You wouldn't have to deal with people having their own lands of a different skin of a different people, having their plot in your land, saying you can't come in there. Because what? You would have good success in ousting them. And Joshua commanded the officers and people, saying, pass through the host of the command, and command the people, saying, prepare ye victuals, food, for within 3 days ye shall pass over this Jordan. Go in to possess the land, which I am your God giveth you to possess it. He give it back. And to the Reubenites and the Gadites, to the half tribe of Manasseh, spake Joshua or Oshea, saying, remember the word of Moses, the servant of the I Am, commanded you, saying, the I Am your God hath given you rest, and hath given you this land. Your wives, your little ones, your cattle shall remain in the land, which Moses gave you on this side Jordan. But ye shall pass before your brethren armed, all the mighty men of valor, and help them. Until the I Am have given your brethren rest, as he has given you, and they also have possessed the land which the I Am your God giveth them, then ye shall return unto the land of your possession and enjoy it, which Moses, the I Am servant, gave you on this side of Jordan, toward the sun rising. And they answered Joshua, saying, all thou commandest we will do. Now, when they said that to Joshua, Joshua was only relaying to him what God said to him. So they were saying all that the Lord, or even the I Am, said unto us, we will do. Covenant, right there. Now, whatsoever thou sendest, dry throat here, we will go. In other words, it's saying, send me. You say, send me where I go, send me. Yeah, God send you some places your hairs are stand up on the back of your neck. See, Christianity teaches you to be scary. Teach you to be a coward. Christianity teach you femininity. Feminine. It's of an Egyptologist type denomination. Taken away from. This is what it teaches you. Yes. How you think you got so many effeminate men behind the doggone pulpit, and then you got them in the choirs? Oh, sister so-and-so. Oh, she. And they could be, you have families or whatever, but they're still feminine. The woman rules them. And that is a bad thing according to the Deuteronomy. I believe, not Deuteronomy, it's in Proverbs. Women lead you, and your children are your oppressors. Now, verse 17. According as we had hearkened unto Moses in all things, we will hearken unto thee. Only the I Am thy God be with thee, as he was with Moses. And whosoever he that doth rebel against thy commandment, and will not hearken unto thy words, and all thou commandest him, shall be put to death. He shall be put to death. Only be strong and of good courage. Now, this was also the last words of Joshua or Oshea in the book of Jasher. Yes. Taking back the land. You got many of the children of Shem down in Africa. They say they're Hamites. They're not Hamites. The majority of those people there are Shemites. Yes, they are. They are Shemites. Many of the Japhites and the Hamites, they are gathered together because God even said that he would dwell in their tents. They even dwell in, they are mixed with each other. To tell you the truth, mixed with everybody. All the brothers are mixed. And that's what the word Arab really means, mixed. According to Gert Miller and Anubantu in their book called The History of the Hebrews and Arabs, Volume 1. There's another volume that deals with the forensics of that, which clears it all up. You can't dispute that. Now, he said, only be strong and of good courage. Whatever you do for God, be strong and of good courage, believing, regardless whether in life or death, you prosper. Period. I mean, whether you die in battle or you, I ain't talking about for a bunch of corporations that's trying to get what, whatever they're doing for the advantage of them. So you got one faction where the government rules the corporations. Either the corporation's just going to have to get out. And then you got another faction that says that the corporation dictates to the government. Just like the man says in the book called None Dare Call It Conspiracy. It's government policy. It's corporate greed backed by government policy. This is what it is. Read that book. You're going to understand a lot. None dare call it conspiracy. Yes. The brother just exposes it all. Telling you all the things that have happened, even from down in Mexico, how leaders were killed and deleted and all these things, this murderous people or this group. Globalists, they call them. Imperialists, they call them. You get the hint. But either way, we thank God for you, and we're going to say peace.
Walk with me.